Howdy folks, I'm Brian, and here's some Reddit. Our first story is titled, Am I a Jerk for Wearing Makeup as a Mechanic? I am a mechanic at a fairly large workshop, and I recently started to use makeup as I found it was boosting my confidence. I started with something to cover my eye bags, but later also tried on mascara and a few other subtle things. Surprisingly, I didn't get any comments from the other mechanics, and everything seemed fine. My confidence was skyrocketing. Because of how large the workshop is, we mechanics have little to no contact with customers. Customers are handled by the two ladies working at the front desk, and we just go out to pick up the cars. Very rarely we have to talk to the customers to figure out the problem. I also have not much contact to the front desk ladies as we have different break times and our system is automated, so we don't have to talk in person. Yesterday, I was approached by both of them, which is unusual, and they both laid into me that my makeup is highly unprofessional. Seems like a customer who had seen me had made a comment about me. They were both quite rude, telling me I needed to skip out on makeup as it was unprofessional and they had to deal with the customers all the time, so they were affected by it. I was stunned as we were usually on friendly terms, and them going off on me left me speechless. I apologized in the moment, but later thought about it, and I don't want to stop wearing makeup. I feel confident with it, and I feel like I should be able to put it on. On the other hand, they are right that they have to deal with the customers, and I don't want to make it harder for them. Edit, forgot an important info, I'm a male. Edit 2. Apparently, all it took for the front desk ladies was for a customer referring to me as the one wearing mascara. Alright, OP, I don't think that you're the jerk in this situation. I think that if you want to wear makeup and it makes you feel good about yourself, go right ahead. I think that this is perfectly fine, and I don't think that it's harming anyone, and I think that it's your preference. If this is what makes you happy, go right for it. The thing is that what's important is at the end of the day how you feel about yourself, and it doesn't matter what anyone else has to say about it. The haters are gonna hate is what they say, and in this particular case, it really seems that way. So yeah, no, I don't think they have a valid complaint here, and I don't think this is unprofessional. It doesn't even sound like your makeup is like that extreme or anything like that, or distracting. It just sounds like a customer was trying to figure out how to describe whomever mechanic they had, and they're just like, oh yeah, the one that was wearing mascara. Because that's not usually a very common thing. Or maybe they're just mean-spirited and cruel people who like to be killjoys. Who knows? So yeah, I don't think that you're the jerk in this situation, and I think that this is really your preference and your choice. So yeah, anyhow, take care and good luck. Not the jerk. You cannot blame the girls for being distracted from their work when you are looking this fine. It's on you to wield your power responsibly. Another thing is that, think about like all the actors and actresses and, news people and whatnot. They all wear makeup all the time. How is that unprofessional? So what? There's lots of men who wear makeup to work. It's not a crime here, and I think that it's a little weird that they're making such a big deal out of it. Agreed, my first full, very stammered apology in my new language was to say sorry for staring at my male neighbor's makeup. I wasn't trying to be rude, I was trying to figure out how he got the winged eyeliner so even, because I sure can't. We had a good laugh afterwards. Yeah, I've done Amber's makeup before, and I have a horrible time getting the wings even on her makeup. It's a very challenging thing. It takes a lot of skill to do makeup well. So yeah, I think that I would be impressed to see someone with, on fleek eyeliner here. On fleek wings. I think not the jerk. These front office admin ladies were rude, making them jerks. Of course jealous, but still they could have been respectful or asked for tips. Oh, speaking of makeup, you guys can see like my forehead is shiny. If I had worn, makeup or powder or something like that, my forehead wouldn't be so shiny. So, yeah. This is why people wear makeup when they're on camera. Our next letter is titled, Am I a jerk for not following the rules of the Neighborhood Homeowners Association, even though I live in the neighborhood, but I'm not a member? No. You're not the jerk, OP. I don't even need to read this one. Neighbors in the Homeowners Association have issues that I don't follow the HOA rules. So the neighbors called me a jerk today. I bought a house 5 years ago that a real estate company built on speculation. Mine was the first house in a planned subdivision that they were going to build one at a time or as people bought the individual tracts of land. The area kind of hit a boom period, and the other surrounding houses went up quickly. In my contract to purchase my home, there was no homeowners association, and because I was here first, I don't have to join any if the other neighbors decide to create. My contract has me grandfathered into this. They all seem to forget this, though, and continually try to give me HOA fines for breaking the rules of the HOA. This has ranged from days that I have things delivered to my house, Amazon delivers on Sundays, to when I cut my grass, to have my vehicle parked in my yard, and they aren't happy that I own an extra tract of land because I bought two to have a bigger yard so I could build a shooting range. I live in the South, and it's not uncommon. The recent event, though, has led them to calling me a jerk, is that they came over to ask me to remove the eyesores from my garage. Now my home faces the road and not anyone else's house, so they don't stare at my garage, but apparently they still don't like it. I run a small hobby business doing woodworking projects, and I have a shelf outside of my garage door full of various pieces of treated lumber that I may use one day. It's not the neatest or cleanest area, but it's not a disheveled mess either. So I told them that if they lightened up and just left me alone, all the other stuff, I'd consider moving the pile of wood if it bothered them that much. They proceeded to tell me that I needed to address all of the HOA issues and take care of the wood pile, along with stopping the deliveries on Sunday and getting my other truck out of my yard. They handed me what basically amounts to a ticket, and I trashed it and I told them to go F off and get off my property. They handed me what basically amounted to a ticket, and I trashed it, and I told them to get the F off my property. They called me a jerk for my unreasonable behavior and told me they'd be back. I'll be back. You better watch out, OP. Oh, the HOA is coming for you. Woo! Edit. Thanks everyone for the feedback. I've been in contact with the real estate attorney about my deed and whether or not they can still attempt to legally enforce anything. Also, I've contacted a lawyer on creating a cease and desist. I do have cameras on my property. Edit. The vehicle in my yard is just one and it's not an abandoned wreck. It's a fairly new truck that I use mostly on weekends. It sits there so I can get my other vehicles out more easily. I do move it when I mow the lawn, so it's sitting there beside my driveway. Alright, OP. No, you're not the jerk in this situation. Your neighbors are acting ridiculous. You do not have to follow their rules. And, I mean, there are a lot of benefits to an HOA. But, from what I've heard about HOAs, I've never had one. They are more of a bureaucratic nightmare than they are a benefit. And I mean, I can certainly understand why folks would want some kind of uniformity or some kind of rule enforcement for a neighborhood to help keep the overall property values up. But there's also a lot of abuse that goes on with these HOAs, and I think that overall, I just have not been a fan of what I've heard of them. I personally would not move into a neighborhood with an HOA. With all that said and out of the way, of course my biases are showing here. Yeah, no, I can't fault you here. Like, they are harassing you. You were here first. They are in your neighborhood. You're not in their neighborhood. So, yeah, they just need to lighten up and, not take their HOA so seriously. So, yeah, that's kind of my opinion here. Anyhow, take care and good luck. Not the jerk. Is there any way to get any kind of restraining order on the HOA, not the other people per se, but the entity itself, or a cease and desist maybe? I don't know, but I would totally do it if it were me. And OP replies, never looked into it, but that's an idea. Yeah, I would be tempted to call the cops for harassment. However, since the lawyer thing was thrown out there, if OP belongs to one of those legal clubs, I know my husband is part of one as a benefit through his job, they should be able to write up a cease and desist letter for nothing or pretty cheap. Not the jerk, you should hire an attorney for $100 or whatever and have them send a letter to the HOA advising them not to contact you again for any reason, or you'll consider this harassment. All right, our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Not Giving My Fiancé the Family Ring as an Engagement Ring? Throwaway account. I'm a 27-year-old male, and I have a sad and hurt fiancé, a 29-year-old female, over a hypothetical situation and need an outside perspective. Backstory. My great-grandmother was the product of an affair between her mother and her boss. Because he was already married and my great-grandmother was biracial, she was never acknowledged. It wasn't until her father was on his deathbed, that his wife already passed before him, that he gave his mother the ring and finally gave her the recognition she always craved. She loved that ring, and since, it's been a prized possession in the family. My aunt was the only girl in the family after my grandmother died and doesn't have any children of her own. She told me that she would like to continue the tradition of passing the ring along to the next female generation, and said that she would hang on to it until I decided to give it to someone really special in my life. It didn't explicitly mean to give to my future wife, but my aunt let me know that this was an option. Fast forward to now, I proposed to my live-in girlfriend of 3 years. In the past, I had considered giving her the ring, but decided against it because, while I love her, she's a bit irresponsible and an airhead. It's not malicious or blatant lack of care, but she does have a habit of losing, damaging, or misplacing things. I'd much rather give the ring to a future responsible daughter instead, and just ended up proposing with a $4,000 ring. My girlfriend loved the ring and was so proud of finding a guy who knew what she liked. Since we were in the early stages, my girlfriend was still in the habit of showing it off. Unfortunately, she lost it. And when I say lost, I mean she accidentally dropped it down the elevator shaft when she was showing it to a coworker. My girlfriend was distraught and was almost too ashamed to tell. I told her that while I was upset, that I didn't hate her and would get her a replacement. She was so grateful and didn't care that the replacement ring was a lot cheaper and was happy showing this one off as much as the other one. My fiancé made a big post and then all heck broke loose when a cousin of mine, paternal side, asked why I didn't just give her my maternal side family ring since it had such great sentimental value. Now my fiancé knew about the ring, but assumed that my aunt would take it with her to the grave. She didn't know that giving it to her was an option and asked about it. I tried to say that I would rather give it to our future daughter, but she countered that by giving it to her, it didn't mean our future daughter wouldn't get it later. After enough pushing, I finally admitted my concerns about potentially losing the ring. My fiancé was very hurt by this, and while she hasn't said anything directly, she is sulking, and I even heard her cry about it. Her sister is calling me a jerk for refusing to give my fiancé the ring. Edited to add, yes, we did contact management about getting the ring from the bottom of the elevator shaft, but it couldn't be located. My fiancé stated that it was dropped when the doors were opening and closing, and her coworker backed up her story. Edited to add too, yes, the ring was properly sized at the time that she was showing it off to a coworker, however, she took it off to show the inscription inside. And 3, yes, the ring was insured and we used that money to get her a new one. Alright, OP, it's difficult to really pin blame here. I'm gonna say that probably no one's the jerk in this situation. I think that she has a legitimate reason to feel hurt, but also you have legitimate fears about her losing the ring in this situation. I mean, she already lost one ring, and you know that she didn't do this maliciously or on purpose. She's just kind of accident prone. And you don't want to take a risk with a family heirloom and have it accidentally lost. And that's just it, is that this is a special ring to you. You don't want it to end up having an unfortunate end. And I think that you are making a wise decision here, but it's also going to be a hurtful decision to her. I honestly can't blame her for being hurt, and I honestly can't blame you for not wanting to give it to her. So, I just can't blame anyone in this situation. So yeah, I do think that given her history, it would seem irresponsible to give her the ring, but also there's no guarantee that she would lose the family heirloom either if given the chance. But do you really want to take that risk? Yeah, and that's in lies the question here. So I think you two have competing interests. I think that she probably feels hurt that you don't necessarily trust her with something like that. And I think that's just unfortunate situation. And sometimes life's just not able to provide everyone with a good answer here. So anyhow, take care and good luck. Dude, she did exactly what you thought she would, except it could have been the family ring down the elevator shaft, not the jerk. Yeah, I mean, if you had given her the family heirloom at first, then that ring would be gone right now. Exactly, it's like, babe, I'm sorry, but you kinda did prove my point, but then I would expect it not to go down well, not the jerk. This is absolutely crazy to me. Like, how do you think your argument has any weight when you literally just threw a $4,000 ring down the drain soon after your fiancé gave it to you? Basically, what she is saying is, I would rather have preferred lose your irreplaceable family heirloom instead of the already very expensive ring that you have given me. You're the jerk. Not the jerk, your judgment was correct. Yeah, I mean, I think most people kind of agree on that. What do you folks think in the comments below? Was this an overstep or just a wise decision on OP's part? Alright folks, that's all the time we have for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, consider giving me a like. If you didn't, consider giving me a dislike. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow.